Good afternoon and welcome to another beautiful learning session with IIPMI. This is Project Management Fundamental class, and my name is Princess Nabrife. It is nice to meet you all again. I will be coordinating this class with Dr. Abraham Thompson, and we're sure you have a great time learning from one of our very best program facilitators who I will introduce to you shortly. Before we proceed, there are a few things we would like you to remember. For the benefit of having a seamless class, for the benefit of having a seamless class without distractions of any sort or network glitches, we would advise you to take your device off. Kindly leave. As you already know, this is an interactive class, so feel free to ask questions using the raise hand feature to indicate your intention, and you'll be called to do so. Or you could simply leave your question in the comment section. Either way, you will get our attention. The attendance form will be passed only after the lecture. And lastly, it would be appreciated if you could check and rename your device so that you could have your name on it. This is very important because it would enable us to identify and address you properly. I can already see some people in the chat in the participant section with names that we cannot identify. Please kindly rename your device. And that being said, we invite you to pay an undivided attention as we welcome the facilitator of today's class. Today's class will be facilitated by Dr. Kent Peller. He is an economist, an investment banker, and developer with over 36 years working experience. He is a certified senior human resource manager and lead project management professional. He's chairman CEO of several companies and an advocate of transformational leadership. So the next 2 hours, you're going to have the attention of Dr. Campella. Dr. Campella, welcome you, please. You have our attention, Dr. Campella.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, Dr. Campella.
If you can, please, can put one in that room. You can hear me. I'm sorry, I'm using my phone. So if you can hear me, please indicate in the chat. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry for the little technical hitch. I'm trying to use my phone to do this. Okay, so can you guys see my screen? If you see my screen, can you please confirm? Okay, great. Great. So I think we're making some progress. So my apologies once again. Now, I'm going to take 1 hour, 30 minutes class on introduction to project management. Now, we are doing project management. I'll start looking at the case study to basically illustrate what project management is all about. Now, let's just go through this together. Apollo Incorporated is a lean IT giant, and Michelin is a project manager in Apollo Incorporated, and he is responsible for meeting the clients for every new software development project that comes to Apollo. Radisson Telecommunications, a leading telecom service company, recently came to Apollo to have new Java-based data software to be developed for them. I have fully reviewed and analyzed Radisson's requirements and came up with a project plan. Now, the only I need to go ahead with starting the project and develop software for the client's approval. And the meeting with the client, discuss the project plan, and gain overall approval of the terms and conditions of the plan. The client discussed the scope of work with the client. However, the client was not very sure about several aspects of the software that they wanted to get developed. I thought of starting the project.
Dr. Campella? Hello, Dr. Campella. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Okay, your network is really bad. We could barely hear you. Oh my God.
Contact the client every stage of the project to understand requirements and gain clarity on the same. Due to constant flow of communication regarding scope and several iterations of the same, Ian and his team were not able to complete the project as was promised to the client. Due to this day, Apollo Incorporated had to pay some penalty for late delivery. Also, the client added new requirements to be incorporated in the software. However, I had not negotiated about terms with the client for any further enhancements or features being added to the software. Hence, Apollo had to incur a loss in the project because the scope of work had increased and the terms of the project had not been negotiated well. Also, this team was forced to work 7 days even from home to complete the project. Now, let's ask ourselves a question. Why do we feel that our team had to suffer? And why did Apollo have to incur a loss in this project? If you can, please put your answers. Wow. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, please indicate chat room. I can see comments that my audio is very bad. You guys hear me? Whoa. Okay, my voice is. Okay, let me.
All right, please be patient. Dr. Pella
Sorry,
is
can you guys hear
trying
me?
with the
Can you guys hear me now?
Okay, so Dr. Pella is apologizing for the network glitch, and we should please give him some time to take care of the problem from his end, and then we'll be back shortly. Thank you so much for your patience. Right, everyone. Dr. Trina will be with you shortly. He's still trying to rectify the net problem at this end. But we appreciate your patience. Just hang on a little bit. Thank you so much. Please, we're trying to test the network. Can you hear me, please? Please, can anybody hear me? Am I loud and clear? All right, thank you. We're trying to fix the network from this end to ensure that it comes out better. Thank you. I hope everyone can hear me. Okay, so while we wait for Dr. Campella to come back, because he's really having problems at this end, I would want to call on Dr. Banito to come and take the second part of this class. I assume you know Dr. Banito. He's a management consultant, a very powerful leadership and career coach, a super amazing mentor, and a value-driven trainer. And above many others, he is the program director of the Integrated Institute of Professional Management. So I invite Dr. Banito to handle the other part of the class while we await Dr. Campella to join us later. Dr. Banito, please.
All right, good afternoon, Princess, and thank you for the introduction. I want to sincerely apologize to everyone for the network hitches from Campella's side. I'm definite that this is unforeseen, and I want to appreciate everyone's patience with us. So thank you so much. I'm going to take my own part so that we're going to swap. I'm supposed to take the last class. So let me take my class and then he takes his own class when his network is up. All right. Okay. Okay, so please, if you can hear me loud and clear, if you can hear me loud and clear, please, can you help me type 1 in the chat room? If you can hear me loud and clear, please, can you help me type 1 in the chat room? If you can hear me loud and clear. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. This is still a general management class, which will be ending today. So from Saturday, 26th of September, we'll be going to our respective classes. So within the week, you're going to receive a different link to classes for those of us in PMP and those of us in HAC and those of us in HR. And please do register accordingly so that you will get to be in your class by next weekend. All right. It's also important for me to remind us that this class is completely free, as what we are intentionally out here to do is to help individuals and organizations build capacity to survive in times like this. We have quite a number of people here who have done their NEBOSH, and some have done their HSC from 1 to 3, and some have done some other safety programs like WSO programs and all of that, OSHA and all of that. We appreciate all of you coming around to learn alongside with us. And we will also appreciate your contribution in this class. Some of us are already practitioners. We appreciate your contribution. At the same time, I'm talking to those that are also HR professionals or HR consultants already licensed who are here to learn. And in the same vein, those who are project management certified professionals who are also here to renew their thoughts and renew their mind with new trends in the practices that we'll be looking at. And then for those who are new, maybe you intend to pursue a career in any of these areas, please, we welcome you to learn and build your capacity. For anyone who is just here to learn and network and also build partnerships with others, please, there is no fee attached to your coming, and there will be no fee attached to your going. Fee will only be attached if you have intention of writing exams and then getting a certification. It's also important for me to remind us that the certification here is from Society for Human Resource Management USA, and for anyone who wishes to be chartered in any of the different certifications that will be issued, please be reminded that the chartered certification will be issued by Chartered Institute of Management Consultants USA. All right. Okay. I would like to take 1 or 2 commendations or comments from us, and then we'll proceed. But first of all, let me once again sincerely apologize for the network delay. We know that this is not too good from our own end. We are very, very sorry for that. And we want to say a very big thank you for your understanding. I would like to take 1-2 comments or 1-2 questions from anybody, and then we will proceed. So if you have a question, please kindly lift your hand and the coordinator will unmute you. I will also want to use this privilege to appreciate all the faculty members of Iipm present in this class. We want to say a very big thank you for coming around. Thank you so much. Okay, please, if there is any question, if there is any comment, I will just take 5 minutes to any question or comment, but if there is none, we'll just proceed straight into the program, and then we'll do our best to make sure that the class ends or finishes on or before 6:30 today. So on or before 6:30 will be done. For those of us in Ghana, on or before 5:30 will be done. If you're in Nigeria, on or before for those of us in Nigeria, on or before 6:30, so that we can go rest and then prepare for work tomorrow. I would also like to remind us at this moment the patterns of the program. Thank you so much, Ojeni Paul, for helping us out. Please be reminded that each class, the scope of lecture in all we do, from the 3rd week of this program, there is going to be grouping, and from the grouping, we are going to have group assignments, and each group is to make take up on a project and then develop a presentation or a proposal on that, and then present in the general class. That's part of the requirements of this class. Okay, I would like to reiterate here, someone asking the question, Rumi said, good day, sir, please. I want to ask, how much does it cost to get chartered? Okay, for chartered certification, to get chartered, one, you have to get a professional certification first, after which you can apply for your charter. To get chartered with CIMC, there are two approaches to it, or 2 things you will be involved in. The first one is your chartered certification. So for instance, if you're going to take project management at the end of the day and you want to become a chartered project manager, there are 2 levels to it. So you have chartered associate project manager and chartered project manager. So if you're going for the associate, the fee for chartered certification at associate level from CIMC is $200. And then for the senior or lead chartered certification is $300. We've actually done our best to negotiate this. From CIMC, the fee was about $1,550. But for those of us in Africa, we've done our best to negotiate it so that those that want to go for the charter can also afford it. And also, please note, chartered certification is different from chartered membership. CIMC has 3 levels of chartered membership. So you have chartered associate, chartered member, and chartered fellow. If you want to go for chartered associate, it's $200. If you want to go for chartered member, is $250. And if you want to go for chartered fellow, that's $300. Please be informed that the chartered certification is different from chartered membership, so that you will have the information well structured. Chartered certification, after your course, after you've gotten your certification and you want to become a chartered professional in your own field, say chartered safety professional or chartered HR professional or chartered project management professional, whichever one you want to be chartered. The associate level is $200 for chartered certification. The lead level is $300. Now, if you want to get a diploma from CIMC, it's not coming as a charter. I'm now referring to those doing level 1. If you want to get diploma from from CIMC, you don't get it as chartered. You can only be chartered as an associate or chartered as a lead or senior professional. That's for the certification. If you want to become a member of CIMC USA, the chartered associate member is $200. Chartered member is $250, and chartered fellow is $300. Now, more of this information will be provided as soon as we are done with our programs, and then as we move on towards preparation for induction, we'll get more of the information so that you decide which one you wish to go. Now, please note, whether you want to go for the chartered or not, nobody's going to query you, all right? It's absolutely your choice. Ours is to provide the information, and then yours is to make decisions and plans towards either getting them or not. Okay, someone asked in the chat room, he said, I took part in all the classes yesterday, but cannot still sign the attendance. Why? Please, Sylvester Oko, if you took part in all the classes, the attendance was shared severally. So if it is that you cannot sign the attendance because your device did not support it, that's a different thing. But if you cannot sign the attendance because you did not see the attendance, possibly you were having on and off a network while yesterday's class was going on. But not to worry, when attendance is passed today, you will carefully do your attendance. If you have any issue, for anyone who could have any issue with attendance, please ensure to copy the attendance link, send it to another person's WhatsApp, and then try to use the person's device to fill it. Try using Chrome browser, Chrome, Firefox, and UC browser, and Opera Mini might not be the best option for you. Please try using Chrome. Is there anyone here that is not in our WhatsApp group? Because some questions I'm seeing here, they are now answered in the WhatsApp group. Isifu Musa, please, are you in the HSC WhatsApp group? If you are, please let me know. Because if you are there, then your question has been answered there. All right. I think that will be all for now. Okay, so I'm seeing, yes, I'm seeing two hands up. So I'm going to ask the coordinator to unmute the two hands. Please, can your questions be made in 15 seconds so that we can answer everything within 30 seconds or 1 minute? All right, thank you so much, Princess. You can go ahead. Princess, if you can hear me, kindly unmute the people.
Okay, I've actually done that. They will have to unmute from your end.
Okay, please, Ebuta Ugochi, please, can you go ahead? Your mic is open.
Okay, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma.
Okay, I'm the one that asked about the chartered membership, not chartered certification anyway. But I want to ask, based on your response, is it different? Are they both different different payments? Like I'll pay for the chartered certification and pay for the chartered membership?
Yes, both payments are separate. They are not the same. If you want to go for certification only, then you pay according to the level you're going for. Which course do you intend going for?
HR.
Okay, at what level, please?
The senior.
Okay, so if you're going for senior, that's chartered global HR professional, that will be $300. Okay, that's for the chartered. But please, it's important to note that before you go applying for chartered, you must have had your professional certification first, yes, which will be offered by the SHRM. Yes.
Okay, now, when I'm done with the certification,
yes,
fine, you can now go for the chartered and pay another $300.
Yes, and that will be on or before March next year.
Okay.
Yes. We'll pass all of the, as soon as we are done with the classes, more information will be provided in the alumni group, because everyone that completes the course, you'll be added to the alumni group where you receive all information as regards to preparation for induction, getting chartered, and all of that.
All right, so thank you, sir.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mrs. Ugochi. All right, please. The next person, Owola Oluwatobi Adeniyi, please, can you kindly unmute and let's hear from you, please.
Thank you. My name is Oluwatobi Adeniyi.
You're welcome, sir.
I would like to ask for the difference between the chartered fellow, chartered associate, and chartered member.
Okay. Thank you so much. Please keep your mic open so that you can confirm whether my response is okay or not. Okay, so chartered associate is like a degree holder. Chartered member is like a master's holder. And chartered fellow is like a PhD holder. Does that make any sense? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you. What of the member?
That's what I say. I say chartered associate is like a degree holder, a first degree holder.
Okay.
Then chartered member is like a master's holder, master degree holder. And a fellow is like a PhD holder. So the fellow is the highest level of membership, and master is the member is the one following it, and associate is the one the least. So in essence, if you're just coming, if you're a fresh bee to you're new to career, or those that are within 1 to 3 years or 1 to 4 years, they can go for associate. Then anyone having up to 5 years working experience in his or her professional field can go for the member. Then anyone with 7 years and above can go for the fellow. That's how it's categorized.
All right, thank you very much.
All of them have different benefits and different appreciation to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Sorry, did I mute you? Please kindly unmute. It's like you wanted to ask another question.
Yes, I also asked a question on your WhatsApp page. Please respond when you have done.
No, you can ask a question here if it's something that has not been responded to. Hello, sir, can you hear me? Okay, it's like your network could be having a challenge. All right, please, if your question has not been attended to in the chat room, you can feel free to ask your question here. All right, thank you so much. Okay, so that being said, the WhatsApp group links have been shared. So in case you have not been to your WhatsApp or you don't belong to the WhatsApp group, please kindly join the one that best describes your application. All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to take this last question. I'm taking time to answer these questions because they will help us all in understanding. All right, I was seeing a hand up, team. I was seeing a hand up, something team, about team Okechukwu. Please, is your question answered? You can unmute and let me hear from you. About team, please, if you can hear me, your hand was raised up. If your question has been answered, you can say so. If it's not, then we can give it an attempt. Okay, so team, when you come back. All right, it will also be important for me to say here that if you want to be a member of Iipm, there are fees that apply to it. If you want to be a member of CIMC, there are fees that apply to it. But if you are going for CIMC membership, you don't need to pay twice. Like you don't need to pay for CIMC and pay for Iipm. If you're going for chartered member or chartered associate or chartered fellow, you receive Iipm membership as complimentary, and that's free. You don't pay for it. And that's valid for 5 years. Iipm membership is valid for 5 years, and CIMC membership is valid for 5 years. So after 5 years, you're expected to renew. All right. I'll repeat that again. If you wish to go for chartered member or any membership on chartered category with CIMC, you receive Iipm Iipm membership for free. Okay. Now, if you don't want to go for the chartered and you want to go for the Iipm membership, that is also available. Okay, that is also available, right? Okay, Mr. Abotim, please, you can make your comment.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, please. My question is in follow up with what the last persons asked.
Okay.
This issue of CIMC membership. You said that from 7 years goes for fellow. So if that 7 years has BSc, will he still be allowed to go for fellow?
Yes, the fellow the qualification we are looking at here is not necessarily BSc, MSc, or PhD. If you have a degree or HND and you have up to 7 years of professional experience, then you're qualified. It doesn't matter whether you have PhD or masters or not.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
All right, from the chat room, I'm seeing a question. It said, can one make payment in installment, like breaking 10K for material into 5K twice payment? Jeff Take, thank you so much for that question. The answer is yes. If you pay 5K, you will get level 2 materials. By the time you pay the remaining 10K, you get all your materials for level 3 or the senior level. I will repeat that again. If you want to pay for your material twice, if you pay 10K, of course, 10K is for senior level. So if you pay 5K, you receive for the associate, you receive for the level 1 and level 2. Then if you pay the remaining 5K, you get all of your materials together. So you can do that. Okay, someone is asking what of the account details. Please, if you wish to make payment, for those of us in Nigeria, we recommend that you pay through our UBA account. And that is displayed there, 10200-17605 UBA, and the account name is Integrated Institute of Professional Management. Okay, Integrated Institute of Professional Management, 10200-17605. All right, if you wish to make payment for Nigerians. If you want to pay online, please, you can use Paystack and pay online. Just a moment, and I will send you the link. Okay, so if you're in Nigeria and you wish to pay online, please, you can pay with the Paystack. If you're outside of Nigeria, for international students, you can still pay online. In fact, if you're an international student, we highly recommend you to pay online. Okay, so for international, you see your link there. All right. Integrated Institute of Professional Management. Is there a special narration for various categories of payment? Yes, if you're paying for material, please kindly indicate that you're paying for material. If you're paying for certificate or exam, please indicate. And as soon as we see 5,000, we automatically know that you're paying for an associate course. Oh, sorry, if you're paying 7,500 rather, we know that you're paying for an associate course. So all you need to do is tell us which course you're taking, and you get your manuals to that. And if it's okay by you, we encourage you to, while you are filling up the payment distance, please kindly indicate in the detail box that you're paying for such, so that the CRO will not have to start asking which course did you pay for, or what have you. And as soon as you make payment, kindly send your payment to 2348147029035. You can send that through WhatsApp, or you can post that in your WhatsApp group. The CRO will follow up from there. Okay, I'm taking time to answer all these questions because I believe they are important, and they will help us in making our decisions. Please, I have Emmanuel Kai. Please, Emmanuel Kai, can you unmute and let's hear from you? Emmanuel Kai. All right, Emmanuel, while you are trying to unmute, there's a question from the chat room from Onachi-san. They said, I have a question. The PMP certification is it the same? Is it the one written at PMI? Please, the answer is no. This is not PMI. This is Iipm. And the body that is going to offer the certification is offered in partnership with Professional Evaluation and Certification Board Canada, and the charter is coming from CIMC USA. So this is not PMI. If you are preparing for PMI exam and you wish to find a place to learn, you can find this place a very good place to learn, and you're learning for free. All right. But if you want to get PMI certification, please, this is not PMI. This is Iipm certification in partnership with PECB and chartered from CIMC USA. So the two institutes are different, right? Okay. Emmanuel Kaye, your mic was open. Your mic was open, but it's like you are gone. Infinix S5. Thank you so much, Onachi. Please don't get bored with all the answers. It's important we answer all of this. As we are streaming this from Zoom, is visible on YouTube, so that in case someone feels tomorrow like we are saying another thing, we can get the record from YouTube and then compare what was said. All right, please, Infinix S5, can you go ahead, please? Infinix S5, your mic is open. Can you go ahead? All right, so Infinix S5, till you come back. All right, Emmanuel Kaye, if you can hear me, kindly unmute and let's hear from you. Emmanuel Kaye.
Okay, good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, please. Oh, I suspect your network will be having a little challenge. All right, please.
I can hear you.
All right, I can barely hear you. Your voice is not coming out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just joined the meeting and I heard about the associate and the fellow exams. So supposing I have over 15 years of work experience with HND, can I go for the senior level certification, or where should I start from?
Yes, please. Yes, please. If you have up to 15 years work experience with HND, you can go for the senior levels, please. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm seeing a question from Loki or Sukuna. He said, please, what are the criteria for Iipm membership and the cost? The criteria for Iipm membership and the criteria for CIMC membership is the same. The cost for Iipm membership, associate is 50,000 naira, member is 65, and fellow is 75. That's if you want to do Iipm membership only. Those are the costs. If you want to do CIMC membership, you don't have to pay for Iipm again. Iipm gives you their membership as a complementary to your membership with CIMC. All right, I will repeat that again. For Iipm, associate is 50, well, member is 65, and fellow is 75, all in 1,000. If you want to just be a member of Iipm only, these are the fees that you pay. If you want to be a member of CIMC, you don't need to pay for Iipm membership. The membership will be given to you for free. That's if you are going for CIMC membership. All right. Okay, so at this juncture, I think I would like to proceed with my lecture. Okay, I'm still seeing some questions in the chat room. It said, please, is the PMP certificate from Iipm a globally accepted certificate? The answer we'll give you is yes. I say, sir, can you briefly explain how I can become a safety engineer if you have, please, Mr. Benjamin Ande, this is not an engineering course. So safety engineering is different from HSE, okay? There are two different things. You need to go to a university to find out how that will work, okay? Mr. Benjamin Ande, this is only a professional course. is not an engineering course. So please, if you want to be a safety engineer, kindly visit the nearest university close to you that offers safety engineering and find out how you can do so. All right. Okay, so I think those are very good questions that have been answered. Please, if there is any bugging question in your mind, please feel free to ask your question during the question and answer sessions, right? We will definitely answer all questions, right? We are not here to make you feel like there is something you have to lose or something you have. The only thing we want you to gain here is the knowledge. Any other thing you want to gain is your choice. I will repeat again, the only thing we are primarily interested in you gaining is the practical knowledge of what we want to teach. After that, if you want to go an extra step, please, you take the step according to the information that have been provided and all conviction you've had. If we will advise, if you are not convinced about going for certification, please don't make any payment, because any payment made and service rendered is not refundable. I'll repeat that again. If you pay for material and you receive your material, it's not refundable. If you pay for exam and write the exam, it's not refundable. We can only refund you when what you paid for had not been delivered. That's the only time we can refund you. So please, the encouragement we'll give you is, before you make any payment, please make sure that you have made all your you've had all your convictions and the like. Our own goal is to help you learn and help you build capacity. If you want to have the certificate, write exam, please, that's your own goal. It's no longer our goal, it's your own goal. And Iipm will not be responsible for your goals. We can only tell you all information, and the decision to make any decision will be based on information provided and further researches you've made. All right. I think this is very clear enough. Now, if what I said to you is very clear enough, please, can you type 1 in the chat room? Let me be very sure that we're on the same page. If all I've said, all the questions I've given are okay to you, please, you can go ahead and type 1 in the chat room. All right, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I would like to share a very simple experience. Someone is asking, Adesui Olago Olukayode. Okay, Adesui Olukayode. Is it possible to first write the exams and do the certification later? Of course. Adesui Oluka. In fact, that's what I even wanted to say now. You can write your exam, and then the essence of the breakdown we did is just to assist, make payments very flexible. It won't be so that your risk could be measurable also. If you're not too sure, you can pay 5,000. If you lose 5,000, the shock will be bearable compared to when you lose maybe 85,000 at once, and you just find out that it's not refundable because you've taken everything. So the best thing is, please measure your risk very well. There are people in this class that have taken over 5 courses with us, but they didn't start with 5 courses at once. Some of them even started with 3 courses over a period of time before they were convinced to start making payments. Okay, but the challenge here is, please listen, the challenge here is, if you did a program this September and it's going to be expiring in November, and you've already been told that this is the cost, and possibly there is going to be another diet starting that will end by March next year, please be rest assured that the cost can never be the same. All right? Be rest assured that the cost can never be the same. All right? Someone sometimes ago, I think it was the last diet, we had a program in Lagos and we were doing project management, and it was August 2019, yes. We were doing a free program in Lagos, and the only thing they needed to pay for was certification, which was 52,500. That was going to cover for both lead certification and agile project management. That person was working as the branch manager of Zenith Bank at Lekki, Okay. Lekki. When we were doing the program last diet, which was I think it started July, was it June, July to August this year, she called and she wanted to do the program. And we told her that the program was 75,000, excluding her study materials. She was very mad. You people told me last year, August it was. I said, yes. Do you still have the flyer? She said, yes. I said, what does it read? He said, it reads scholarship program. This is the, I said, okay. So that is what it read. You found the opportunity and you didn't take it. So the opportunity have changed and it has come in another way. If you don't take it now, you also have something else. It took her time to actually get convinced, to convince herself that she was going to pay. When she needed to pay, she paid it once. She didn't pay it twice. She paid it once. And I've had a similar experience too, where I was in a class in a state in Nigeria, Nasarawa State, and one of the managers from UBA came on board. Their operations manager, is it not central operations manager or something like that? And he came on board, and at the end of the day, the question was, is the certificate generally recognized? How do I know this? How do I know that? There are some questions we can't answer until you go and prove it yourself, right? Just like the person asking me the question here now. Now, last year he had an opportunity to work with World Bank. Yes, he had an opportunity to work with World Bank, and he called me from the interview and said, can you please send me something to show that I've done project management? I was smiling. I said, how will I send you when you have not done? You came to class, you did not write the exam, you did not pay for anything. Then I should say, how does that sound to your ear? Okay. And when he came back, he was like, do I know that he missed this offer because he didn't have project management certification? I said, well, that's a good one for you. He said, can I pay now? I said, yes, you can pay now, but be reminded that the fees are not the same again. But you have to pay anyway. So it's important that anything you may wish to do, please, we encourage you to do it based on all research and information available to you. Please go ahead and pay for your study material if you are really going for the certification. Go ahead and plan for your exam fee if you're going for the certification, and go ahead and plan for your certificate. And after you have finished paying for your certificate, please go ahead and plan for your charter. If you are conversant with training fees, or if you ever met Iipm before this whole COVID, most of the fees, in fact, the last fee that was ever administered on this platform was $1,000 from PECB, $1,000. And that was going to be a workshop, not a certification program. It was a workshop, $1,000. And it was completely online. Okay, and there are other programs, like those of us going for senior programs, you don't spend anything less than $4,500. And those going for associate, you don't spend anything less than $2,500. And if you want to prove whether I'm telling you the truth or not, just wait a little till it graduates. When COVID is completely over, then we'll find out whether it's true or not. It's just a simple experiment. Okay, we'll just find out whether it's true or not. All right. Okay, so at this juncture, I would like to say thank you once again for taking time to listen to me. And anything I'm saying here is not in any way to convince you or confuse you or make anything. I'm just providing information, right? Okay, I'm seeing a question from Gochi. Said, the charter certification, does it come with another exam? No. The only exam you need to write is the exam for your certification. And as soon as you get that, there is no other exam for chartered, be it membership or the chartered certification itself. Let me see if there is another exam. It says, sir, what could the certificate be? I mean the grading level. It depends on what you're going for. If you're going for level 1, it comes as a professional diploma. If you're going for associate, it comes as certified associate whatever thing you're doing. If you're going for a senior class, if you're going for HRM, for example, your senior is Global Human Resource Professional. If you're going for associate, is Associate Human Resource Management Professional. If you're going for safety, is Associate Health Safety Management Professional. If you're going for lead, the same thing. So the appellations you see here, associate, senior, they are the things that will appear on your certification at different levels. All right. Please don't be angry with me. I'm taking time to answer all these questions because from next weekend, we might not have all the time to be answering all these things again. And someone is asking Ahmed Alade. He said, compared to PMI and Prince 2, how can we position CIMC or Iipm certificate? Like I answered someone the other day, PMP is a course, like we do have electrical engineering in school. So you have those offered by different universities. That someone is having a civil or electrical engineering degree from maybe say Lagos State University, and another one is taken from Unilag. That does not make the degree important. If the organization chooses to take one over another, it is based on their preference, not that one is more than other. So if organizations have bias towards certification, it is their corporate bias, not the certification bias. Okay, all right. I think that's all I can answer to Ahmed Alade. For the person from Ghana, please kindly join the WhatsApp group to provide all the information there. All right. I will take Mr. Simon. Please, Mr. Simeon, if you can hear me, kindly unmute and let's hear from you.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mbadon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. Your voice is loud and clear.
Okay. I actually wanted to find out on this chartered fellow. The exam, to what I understand, is going to be by November 7th, and 15 days from then, that the certificates will be ready. So I wanted to find out when the chartered, as one progress immediately to chartered and to chartered fellow, or maybe by next year, then we can do that. I wanted to find out the time difference.
Okay, thank you so much. If you wish to have your fellow is the chartered certification can be applied for, and your fellow also can be applied for immediately you're done with your certifications. But you can receive your chartered certification this year, but fellow can only be issued, membership certifications can only be issued during induction. And induction, as it were now, is going to be holding by March next year. So you can get your chartered lead project manager before this year ends, but for the chartered fellow, no, you can only get it in induction, either on induction day, or if you didn't attend the induction, you will receive it after the induction day. It will be emailed to you, couriered to you rather. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Simon. Okay, so I've taken all the time to answer all the questions, and I'm so happy.
Hello?
Yes, please, I'm with you.
I have a follow-up question to that based on your answer, because I was trying to plan myself for that. So as what you are trying to tell me now is that I can progress with the chartered certification.
Yes.
Then after, maybe by next year, I can make the payment for the chartered membership. Am I clear?
Yes. Yes, you're very clear.
Okay.
You're very clear.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so I trust that most of the questions have been answered. When will exam take place? Exam is November 7th. All exams, November 7th. All exams, November 7th. So if you intend going for exam, all your payment regarding a study material and exam should be made on or before November 7th. November 7th. November 7th. 7th of November 2020. All right. Okay. Thank you so much for all the questions. I really appreciate the calm questions, and I also appreciate all the answers that have been provided. Exam is 100% online, and you can do it in your kitchen, in your bathroom, in wherever you are. But please note, Iipm exams, they're a mixture of exams. So if you're writing HRM questions, exams, you should be sure there is a blend of SHRM questions and Iipm questions. So importantly, you need to prepare very well for it. Some what do you call it? Some past questions will be provided, and tests will be taken. It's also important. I didn't mention that. I've not mentioned that. Please, there will be tests, continuous assessment in between your lectures. As soon as your lecture is over, you're going to receive a test, which will prepare you for the exam. If anyone is privileged to rewrite exam, you can only rewrite an exam twice, or you rewrite it once at no fee. If you're writing the second time, which will be the last time, you will pay for the receipt. You have a privilege to write twice at no cost. If you're writing again at the third time, you have to pay for it. But so far, so good. Iipm has over 97 success rate. And even if you, we provide the test as part of a preparatory to your writing your exam. So if you have any challenge after your test, you sit up with your group and make sure that everything is in order before exam date, all right? From Truslin, she said, someone saying, how long does it take for the certificate to be ready after exam? 15 days for soft copy and 28 days for hard copy. 15 days, after 15 days of exam, that's 2 weeks, you have your soft copy delivered to you, and then 28 days before you get your hard copy to you. Truslin is asking, no exceptions. I'm trying to find question. I said no exceptions on the exams. Please, can you give me an example of what you mean by no exemptions? I'm seeing a question, is it from Faith? He said, I did HSC under PMPI and got my level 1 certification. Can I say I'm in line doing level 2 HSC or what? Well, we need to see the basic thing we need from you before you go to level 2, apart from the certifications you've done so far, is if you have up to 2 to 3 years working experience and you have a degree or HND, automatically you're qualified. If you have done HSC 1 before and maybe the certificate is not recognized, we will not consider that as a waiver. Okay, so the most important consideration we are giving here is your work experience and your qualification, your academic qualification. All right. When will emotional intelligence certificate be ready? That will be ready very, very soon. October 15th, that's the time we've given. October 15th, Olayenka Sukomi, October 15th, that's the last date for EI certifications and ELD certification. What's the cost of writing an exam? The cost of writing an exam is the cost of exam. The cost of that particular exam you wrote, if you were to write, that would be the cost of writing it. Exemptions like someone being exempted from NYC. Of course, if you're exempted from NYC, you're not exempted from having your BSc or your HND. Okay. Our most important criteria here is the academic qualification, HND or degree upwards. Okay. Then if you have HND or degree upwards and you have up to 2-3 years of work experience, then you can go ahead and all right. These questions now are looking like questions we answered yesterday. I have masters in HRM, sir, 5 years working experience. Please go ahead and do your senior. There will be no need of going through that. Just go ahead and do your senior, right? Faith Odu, please go ahead and do your senior if you have your master's already and 5 years. Trustly, that means can some people not write the exam if the person have written Iipm exam before? Please, Trustly, I want to get your question. Which exam did you write and what was your qualification? So I remember clearly you said the exam is OBJ and only. What is the pass mark, sir? Please, the pass mark will be shared in your own respective department, because each department have their own criteria, right? Each department have their own criteria. So during your classes, your HOD will tell you all of that. Okay. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm going to close my chat and I'm going to begin my class. Can I continue? Can I start my class now? Can I start my class now? All right, thank you so much.
Go ahead.
All right. All right. Thank you. So I'm going to be a little fast now because we've taken a good time to answer questions. And I think it's good we answered all those questions. In case your question has not been answered, please kindly feel free to make those questions in the WhatsApp room where and when needed. Okay, so we are going to be looking at a project management course. Essentially, at this general class, what we are looking at is the application of all of these courses and how they all interrelate. Okay, how they all interrelate. And just as an introductory, I've been of the firm stand since 2011 or so, yes. I've been of the firm stand that if there is anything that is going to hold organizations from collapsing, both those days and now, and even in the future, is the practical understanding of project management. All right. And I've also maintained this single statement that not long from now, every organization will make it like mandatory that every staff will have a very good knowledge of project management, irrespective of what you're doing. Whether you're a security man or you are a production manager or business developer, it doesn't matter. Whether you are an engineer, medical doctor, a lawyer, it doesn't matter. Whether you are a marketer or you are a digital expert, it doesn't matter. But a time is coming, and it has even come now, that organizations will begin to pay very critical attention to understanding the practical relevance and the maximum return on investment that project management skills bring to organizations. I've also been of the firm stand that if you must advance as a career person, and if any business must advance, there are 4 pillars that they must lay hold to. There are 4 pillars that they must lay hold to. So it could be like a square box. Then on the inside, there must be a major driver driving all of this. There must be a major driver driving all of this. The first of these pillars is project management. And now project management is diversifying. So now we'll talk about project management. To some others, you hear things like Prince 2, all right, which is project management and controlled environment. Then as you advance, you hear agile project management. And then you hear things like program management, portfolio management, and all of that. Now, the agile project management is now synchronizing most of the project management innovations that are coming to place. So organizations are moving from being defaultly, they are moving from the project management traditional method to moving to the agile methods, so as to drive the new norm. So project management is the #1 basic pillar, I would say, for any sustainable career and business growth. Now, the second pillar is the pillar of human resource management. There is no way artificial intelligence will take off human beings from the workplace. Yes, artificial intelligence is doing its best. Okay, artificial intelligence is doing its best. But there is no way artificial intelligence can be self-managed on its own. Artificial intelligence need upgrade. Artificial intelligence are produced by people. Artificial intelligence are going to produce reports that are going to be read and analyzed by people. Artificial intelligence cannot completely take over the human resource management or operations of human resource managers. And I've also categorically said this. The human resource manager in a time will become virtually everything. He will become the operations manager, he'll become the project manager, He'll become the safety manager. He'll become virtually all the managers, because he will have the responsibility to decide how the artificial intelligence will work. So there is no way we can outrule human resource management. Last week, Tuesday, yes, this is a new week, yes. Last week, Tuesday, I was privileged to have a meeting with the Director of Human Resources, Federal Minister of Education. And while I was with him in that meeting, I asked him a question. I said, how are you people coping with the new trends in human resource management? And he said something to me, which I loved so much. He said, you know, before now, we were all based on personnel administration. I said, yes, I know. He said, but now we are gradually moving to human resource management, and we are finding all of those practices, all of those innovations challenging. I said, yes, it has to be challenging, right? Because human resource management, some of us are looking at it at first level. No, human resource management in essence is the management of both artificial intelligence and human intelligence. So we talking about human intelligence, or what they call it, human resource management, does not divorce the place of inculcating artificial intelligence in the management of human resources. So he told me that they are taking all the necessary steps to bring in all the artificial intelligence inclusion, all the technology inclusions in the management of human resources, and that was excellent. All right, so human resource management cannot, I repeat, cannot be divorced from the workplace. And if there is any career that you must pay attention to developing, you must pay attention to developing a career in human resource management. And there is something beautiful about all these professional courses. They don't depend on your primary career or your primary certification from school. And that's what I actually wanted to say. You can pick a human resource career irrespective of the fact that you studied engineering in school, and you will do well in it. If you're a human resource manager and you're an engineer, then you can make the most of your human resource opportunities in the engineering field. If you're a medical doctor and you come take a course in human resource management, then you can then go and appreciate that the knowledge of human in your own industry. You go apply it in the educational industry according to the levels of a passion that exists in you, and according to the levels of the primary knowledge that drives your career. Then another important pillar to business and career growth is called safety. Of course, I don't need to talk so much about safety today. Okay, I don't need to talk so much about safety. So in case you've not considered ever being a safety expert, I think it's good you start considering it. Okay, it's good we all start considering it. There is nothing wrong in adding to knowledge. I will say that boldly and without being timid. There is nothing wrong in adding to knowledge. For any time you add new knowledge to yourself, you're building new opportunities for yourself. Okay, there are some of us that if you ask us now, how many certifications do we have? We cannot really say, because it's just part of our schedule that you must add something new to yourself. If not yearly, or sorry, if not biannually, at least you do it yearly. Okay, if not yearly, at least you do it quarterly. Okay, not because you want an increase in salary, not because you want to have another accolade to your name, just simply because you enjoy creating opportunities and finding new challenges and then providing solutions. Okay, so if you've never paid attention to becoming a safety professional, please, you need to consider that. Then another important pillar is the pillar of leadership, executive leadership. The pillar of leadership. Everything that we will drive will be driven based on how leadership fathoms it. There are so many organizations that will soon collapse. They are not going to collapse because they lack technology. They are not going to collapse because they lack intelligence. They are not going to collapse because they lack finance. They are going to collapse because they lack leadership. They lack leadership. I don't know how many of us have paid attention to the trend of knowledge management today. If you open the internet, out of maybe by the time you see first, second, third advert, you would have seen one on executive leadership. How executive leadership is being so much important today. So if you have not paid attention to developing your executive leadership skills, you need to pay attention to it too. And at the center of it all, is emotional intelligence. You see, these 4 pillars cannot go anywhere without emotional intelligence. These 4 pillars, project management, human resource management, safety, and leadership, they cannot move far without good application of emotional intelligence. So it's important we understand how good and great these things we are doing now. One thing I love Iipm for is, Iipm is not necessarily out to prepare you for a certificate. Iipm is out to prepare you for an impact. So you must get to be a reflection of whatsoever thing you carry as a certificate. Did you get what I just said now? Our attention is not that you get certificate. Whether you get certificate or you don't get certificate from Iipm, it doesn't change anything about the things we do. But the thing that changes or make an impact to the things we do is the kind of reflection you get to portray after these trainings. Okay, and it's always very good when we get those testimonies from all of our members working at different levels in government, working at different levels at their private organizations, telling you how they've been able to bring good changes to the organization. Okay, we had a testimony of one of the directors from Lagos State government that shared a test in the emotional intelligence class, that shared a testimonial of how he was able to apply what he learned in emotional intelligence class in his office. And the director that was working with him asked him and told him, can you please come and check a car in my house? There's a car parked in my house. If you like it, come and carry it. Those are the kind of things we want to check. This person has not yet collected the certification, but the impact is already producing result to him. Okay, it's already producing results to him. Those are the things we are talking about. All right, those are the things we are talking about. We've also had a testimony of someone here who, after the class, was able to apply some of the things he learned. And the person said her MD was very surprised at the changes that was happening to her. And the person made the recommendation that the organization is planning to send their staff to be trained by Iipm. Those are the things we are talking about. Be the ambassador, be the reflection of the true knowledge you've gotten. That makes the most important thing to us. If whether you get certificate from us or you don't get, whether you pay or you don't pay, whether you see our face or you don't see our face, it doesn't change anything about us. The only thing that can make a very good mark to Iipm is when we receive a call from your MD and say, this person said he did a training from you and is doing this greatly. We appreciate you. That's the best testimony we want to have. Before this class started on Saturday, one of our trainees called and said that he is registering about 4 people from his organization, including his MD. So I don't know whether his MD is in this class. He's registering 4 people, including his MD. Those are the kind of things we are talking about. All right. So importantly, these 4 pillars plus their binding wire, which is emotional intelligence, must not be neglected. Must not be neglected if you want to advance your career and if you want to advance your business. So that being said, it will bring us to understanding something very, very important. There is no business here that doesn't involve projects. Any business that does not involve project has not been involved yet. There is no business that does not involve project. There is no business that does not involve project. Every business, in fact, whether the business is in heaven or earth or in hell, they all involve projects. Why do I say that businesses involve project? There is no business that doesn't talk about development, business development. There is no business that doesn't talk about creativity. There is no business that doesn't talk about innovations. Anytime you start hearing of innovations, creativity, business development, product development, launching, expansion, that automatically is project. There is no business that doesn't do with recruitment. Huh? Is it that you're recruiting offline or you're recruiting online? That's a project. That there is no business that doesn't do customer service or what. All of those things are peculiar projects that keep businesses moving. All right. So businesses are bounded by project. Businesses thrive by project. Businesses, they thrive by what? By project. And we need to understand that, because sometimes when we talk about project, somebody thinks someone who is an engineering graduate or an engineering practitioner that need to go and do project. And to some of us, the whole mindset of project management is that you must have been a science inclined practitioner, or you must have been an engineer, or you must be a technology driven. No. That's not it. That's not it. That has been a major setback to the advancement of the practice of project management. But the new inclusion we're having, project management is going to be the major driver. Barely can you see adverts today that they will not give you as part of your requirements. They will tell you good knowledge of project management, or they will tell you project management skills. Now, they are not even asking you of certificate. All right, they are telling you, okay, even if you don't have certificate, just try and have the skills, because now organizations are beginning to realize that people go for workshops on project management, people go for seminars on project management, people go for conferences on project management. They might not have gone through the rudimentary process as we are going now, but they've had a basic knowledge of project management, and that could make a whole lot of difference. A slight information, a slight knowledge of project management can change so many things about a business setup, and I'm not joking about it. Okay, I'm not in any way trying to create an impressive background of project management. I'm telling you what project management is. Okay, it's very, very important we understand this. So whether you're going to take project management as a course or you're not going to take it as a course, please note that whatsoever thing you lay your hands to do, project management must be involved. You must apply project management skills one way or the other. Okay, one way or the other. One of our members was chatting with me the other day. Okay, no, it was a call. And he told me, he said he's recruiting some people in his organization. Okay, let me even make it simple. The person that was supposed to take the first class today, of course, we know him. He's a big man, all right? He's a very big man. So after the last diet, his organization recruited about 5 persons from the class. And after the whole interview, I think they ended up recruiting 2. And he told me something in their last phase of the interview. He said he asked them to prepare their report using Microsoft Project. And that was going to be their last interview. Prepare your report using Microsoft Project. And the person could be like, I went to do site survey. I went to do this. What concerns site survey? What concerns me going to market with project management software? Is this not too much? You might look at it as it's too much, but that's where the organizations are going. The first, early last year in January, the first banker that came to take a training with us, that was one of the operations managers with one of these banks. He was running to the class. This was someone we've been preaching to him about project management for God knows how long. So this year, January, he was running. So in the class, he made a statement. He said his organization sent a memo from their head office that if you have project management certification, it doesn't matter where you get it, but if you have project management certification with the most recent, you were trained under the recent edition of PMBOK or Iipm standards or ISO 21500 standard. If you're in any of the recent project management methodologies and practice, just come. And it was so funny that at that point he didn't have anyone. Yes, he had head of project management, but he didn't have anything to prove to it. And he was running. The second operations manager from another bank entirely that came to it was the same thing. And in recent times, most of the advert we see now from banking industry is project. A project manager had become one of their most primary role now. Before it used to be marketer, but now it has become project manager. Okay, that's to tell you how project management is turning the or bringing the new normal or repositioning itself to become the major driver to the new normal. So in case you have not paid attention to project management before, you need to carefully, you need to painstakingly start paying attention to it. Read all you can read about it. Go to trainings as much as you can go about it. Network with project managers as much as you can. That will help your career and that will help your business. So having laid this foundation, let me run very fast now. I know when I did my first class, I didn't go through the slide, so I don't want to be found guilty again. All right. Okay. So please, if you can see my screen on introduction, please help me type 1 in the chat room. If you can see my screen on introduction, and you can see the young man smiling with his this thing. All right. So thank you. All right. So I'm going to be very fast on this. So let's look at this case study very briefly. Apollo Incorporated is a leading IT giant. Ian Mitchison is a project manager in Apple Incorporated. He's responsible for meeting the client for every new software development project that comes to Apollo. Radisson Telecommunications, a leading telecom service company, recently came to Apollo to have new Java-based database software to be developed for them. Ian carefully reviewed and analyzed Radisson's requirements and came up with a project plan. Now, the only thing that Ian needed to go ahead with starting the project and develop the software was client approval of the project plan. Ian held a meeting with the client to discuss the project plan and gain overall approval for the terms and conditions of the project. The client discussed the scope of the work with Ian. However, the client was not very sure about several aspects of the software that they wanted to get developed. Ian thought of starting the project with whatever information he had gathered from the client. He ultimately agreed to finish the project as per the limited information provided by the client. When the project was under progress, Ian and his team realized that the scope that he had agreed upon are nearly impossible to meet due to several technical difficulties as well as due to lack of clarity of the scope. Ian had to contact the client at every stage of the project development to understand their requirement and gain clarity of the same. Due to this constant to and fro of communication regarding scope and several iterations of the same task, Ian and his team were not able to complete the project as was promised to the client. Due to this delay, Apollo Incorporated had to pay some penalty for the late delivery. Also, the client added new requirements that had to be incorporated in the software. However, Ian had not negotiated about the terms with the client for any further enhancement or features being added to the software. Hence, Apollo had to incur a loss in the project because the scope of work had increased and the terms of the project had not been negotiated well. Also, Ian's team was forced to work 7 days, even from home, to try to complete the project. Why do you think Ian's team had to suffer? Why did Apollo have to incur a loss in his project? Well, yes, all this happened because Ian had not handled the project well right from the beginning, where the requirement and scope of the project should be collated from the client in detail and with great clarity. Ian failed to collect the detailed scope of the work. He also did not discuss all the aspects of the project, such as change of scope and later additions and enhancement of the software with the client. If Ian had clearly discussed and negotiated the terms of the project with the client and negotiated a complete scope of the work, Apollo would not have needed to pay any penalty and would not have incurred any loss in this project. Hence, you can understand that project management is a crucial aspect of completing any project successfully, and it is the project manager's responsibility to lead a project from start to its successful completion. So we'll quickly look at the introductory part of project management, and then we'll be out of here. I want to ask a question. There's something I saw that has been happening. Is it in US or in Canada? So there had been this issue, or there has been this contract, 135 million contract on, is it medical aid in US or in Canada, something like that, that Deloitte won the contract. And Accenture, IBM, and other consulting firms, they are going on, sorry, it's Florida rather. It is happening in Florida. Okay, so Deloitte won the contract, and Accenture and the IBM consults and other consulting firms, they are going on protest that Deloitte doesn't have the capacity to handle the project. Has anyone here seen that issue? Maybe on news or something, you've seen that going on? Because I want to make a reference to it. Okay, maybe if you've not seen it, maybe you try and Google, find out what's happening to them in Florida. Okay, all right. I've not been able to follow everything through, but that experience or that happening reminded me of something. Okay, so Chisom DK said yes, he or she has heard of it. Okay, something happened in one of my classes. I think it was in 2012. I was taking a project management class in Abuja, and don't mind me with my stories. I'm a very good storyteller. I was handling a safety class in Kogi, Benue, so what they call it? Is it Kogi State Polytechnic? I was handling a Kogi State University. I can't remember exactly, but one of the institutions there. I was handling a class there on safety. I had not even finished my first class, and the coordinator in Abuja called me and told me that the facilitator wanted to speak with me. I said, okay, let me speak with him. And the facilitator said, please, how do we handle this class? The class he was going to handle in Abuja was project management class. I said, I don't understand. Are you not the one to handle the class? He said, the people in this class, nobody's smiling. I said, they don't need to smile now. All you need is do your work and go. Okay. Someone is saying the network is not so favorable. Is it that you're not hearing me or what? Or your network is not too good from your end? Vincent Obed, please, let me get what you're trying to say. All right, so, okay, from his end, all right. The HR called me and said, sir, please, you need to leave Kogi State now and go back to Abuja. I said, this is serious. So I had to hand over my class to the person, to the second facilitator that we all came together, and I left for Abuja. So I was to take the class on Sunday. So when I came to the class on Sunday, follow my story very well, Lou. When I came to the class on Sunday, everybody came. Nobody was smiling. I cracked all the jokes I could crack. Nobody was smiling. I said everything I could say. Nobody was smiling. So I felt within myself that this is a serious matter. So I told everybody to go for a break so that we can find out what's really happening. Maybe in case the ventilation is not well, they should just serve everybody food. Serve everybody. Everybody should eat before the class will commence. So they did as I said. So when we came back, Anna asked a question. I said, please, can I know what your companies are currently facing as regards to project execution and project management so that we can know how to handle it? The first person that raised his hand was then the project manager of Cetraco Abuja. They were handling a contract in Abuja then, and he was the project manager for that contract in Abuja. And he said to me that they were bidding for a contract with Julius Berger. Just follow me very well, Lou. Cetraco, Salini, Sageto, which other one? Julius Berger. They were bidding for a contract in Abuja. And he said Cetraco was bidding for 49 million for that contract. Salini was bidding for, was it 47 million? And Sageto was bidding for 43 million. Now, Julius Berger was bidding for 89 million, and they gave Julius Berger the contract. So all of them came to the class to find out, why should Julius Berger win the contract? Should anybody win the contract, it should be Sageto, since they are the cheapest. And I smiled. And I'm going to ask a question here now before I continue, because this is exactly what is happening with Accenture, Deloitte, IBM in Florida now. That's what's happening to them. Please, I want to ask a question, and I think I will appreciate if a hand is raised so that maybe if someone is from Cetraco here, they can go ahead and help us answer the question. Why do you think Julius Berger with 89 million should be the one to win the contract? If you have any contribution to this matter, you can just raise your hand. Okay, I'm seeing Engineer Simon. Please kindly go on, sir.
Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening, sir.
In the tender process, there are criteria for every tender. When you are bidding for a job, it's not always the lowest bidder. They have a margin of winning, and they said lowest reasonable bidder, because the jobs have a scope, and the scope has a value. And if you bid, like assuming some people give a threshold of plus minus, they can say plus minus 5%, plus minus 15%. So if you fall within the threshold of that plus minus the 15 or 5%, they will not look at the lowest of within that threshold. But there are processes. We have the technical and the commercial. When you are past the technical, then now look at the commercial. The commercial, you must be reasonably low, not because you are bidding low. Somebody have a scope that is within 1 million naira, and the job, the scope is 1 million naira, and you are bidding 200,000. They will not give it to you because you bidded 200,000. So that is just it. Okay. So it's lowest reasonable bidder.
All right. Thank you so much, Engineer Simeon. All right. From the chat room, Wasiu said technical tender is well detailed. Julius Berger must have been considered in some areas where our contractors are not considered in their commercial proposal. All right. From Faith said they have technical skills, job well done, and delivers within the time frame. Okay. Emodi said, I think that he has the potential to manage it well. Okay. So let's hear from Vincent Obed. Vincent, please, if you can hear me, kindly unmute and let's hear from you, please. Vincent, can you hear me, please? Kindly unmute and let's hear from you. Please go ahead. Your mic is open. Yes, please go ahead.
From my own point of view, I believe over the years, Julius Berger has really managed projects very well. And from the past record, they've considered Julius Berger to be worthy of the contract. I believe they've really done well in project managing.
Okay.
As in project management area, that has given them an edge over others. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So Vincent Obed is considering the bias in judgment based on their past record. That is also good. So please, Mr. Obed, kindly okay, thank you so much. I will take the last person. That's Sylvester Oko. Sylvester Oko, please kindly make your voice known. Please, Sylvester, okay, please go ahead. All right, Sylvester, your mic is open, but I'm not hearing you. Maybe you could make your contributions in the chat room, please. Okay, so I'm seeing some wonderful things in the chat room. From Wasiu Adeba, he said it's a similar case between HHI and Samsung on IGNA project. And Benjamin Ande say, I think Julius Berger is well known for quality jobs and working within given time frame. All right, so we've all made great from Godwin. He said the other companies that lost the bid undervalued the project. Okay, so thank you so much for all of this. Now, I want to synchronize everything we've said based on what Engineer Simon said. He said every project has a scope and every scope has a value. Although I will not add, based on what had been stated in the chat room too, that every scope has a value with an attached time to it, okay? So there is value, there is scope, and there is time. Now, just follow me and see how this issue was resolved. When they told me that, I smiled and I laughed. And I asked them to tell me a little about what happened. You know, these contracts are not contracts that take place in a day. So some of them are 3 years before you get to win the award. Some of them are 2 years, some of them get to be months upon months, years upon years, and all of that. So all of them that got angry have the right to be angry, just like the Accentures, the Iipms are angry in Florida now doing protests. That's a good one anyway. All right. Now, I asked them a question. I said, did you consider quality? I asked all of them. I said, did you consider quality? I asked them, can you tell me a little difference between your quality proposal to the project and the quality proposal of the people that won? And by the time they finished, it was obvious to them that technically, they were knocked out technically, not because of lowest bidder or highest bidder. No, there was a technical deformity in the proposal, in the tender process. So that brings me back to this statement that was made, that every project has a scope and every scope has a value. Every project has a scope and every scope has a value. That's very, very important. And every project has a time frame. Okay, let's even ask, let us not be biased. Let us not be biased. How many of us here have seen a contract that had been done by Cetraco and the one that had been done by Julius Berger? Compare the two quality. Which one will you choose? Please tell us your answer in the chat room. Please note, we are not doing any bias. So we are not being biased or anything. But you've seen a project that has been done by Julius Berger and you've seen a project that has been done by Cetraco. If you had the opportunity to choose, which one will you choose? Please let us not be biased. Let's just give our own honest answer. Okay, so 2 people said Julius Berger. We are still waiting. We are still waiting. Please, we need someone. Another one said Berger. Please, we need all your responses. It's important. Okay, another one said Berger. Another one said Berger. Okay, so Berger is like he's winning. Okay, so it's like he's Berger winning. So in essence, there must have been some considerations in the project tender process that made a whole lot of difference. And you know, to all of us here, like I said, the reason why a customer will leave a product A and go and buy product B, irrespective of the fact that they have the same look, same features, but produced by different companies, is just that differential in value. That the scope could be the same, but whenever there is a differential in quality, people will naturally go towards areas of high quality. Did you get what I just said now? If there is, even if product A, B, C, D, E, they are all the same features and all of that, but customers consider a slight value differential, they will go with the one that has the highest value, irrespective of the cost. Now, I want to ask a question. How many of us here know that customers don't buy products based on price? They buy products based on value. If you know that simple analogy, if you know that simple truth now, just help me put yes in the chat room. If you ever know that customers don't buy because it's cheap, but they buy because it's valuable, put yes in the chat room. If you want to say no, please, you can say no so that we can all reason it out together. Customers don't buy price, they buy value. Customers don't buy price, they buy value. Why do people buy iPhone instead of Techno? It's just a slight differential. Some people will tell you camera quality. Some people will tell you video quality. Some people will tell you ability to store in the cloud. Some people just see as a, those things are very easy that if Techno can find out how iPhone is doing, they will do it. But that becomes the secret. Okay, that becomes the secret. So customers, although somebody said yes, some customers, even when we say yes on customers, have you ever noticed that when customers come to buy, irrespective of how cheap a product is, they still want to have the best value at whatever thing they are giving you as money. So customers don't buy price. And that's why anyone here, if you're a product developer, if you're a business developer, if you are a marketer, whatever thing you're doing, you have to learn how to build value that exceeds the expectations of customers. It will be like, wow, when value is very high, when value is high, customers buy for, most customers buy at impulse, then most customers buy to reduce further costs. Don't be offended, though. Don't be offended. I want to ask a simple question. Please don't be offended. Have you ever gone to market before? Maybe you wanted to buy a tablet. Just, let's be frank. You wanted to buy a tablet and you went to market. Maybe you went to Emab Plaza in Abuja, or you went to Computer Village in Lagos, and you got there and you told them that you want to get a very good Samsung tablet, and they brought maybe Samsung Galaxy Tab and gave you, and you asked them how much. They told you 220,000, and you shook and asked them that, is there no one you can get here? Then they now went and brought one that could be finer physically than the Samsung Galaxy Note. And you asked them how much. They told you that this one is 65,000. And your price and bought it finally at 55,000. And you went home. You used the tablet the first day, first month, second month. By the third month, you find out that the tablet has started hanging. Or there were some things started happening around the tablet that you angrily, maybe you gave the tablet away and now went and bought the Samsung Galaxy Note that you would have bought the first time. How many of us have ever experienced such a thing? It might not be Samsung Galaxy Note, but you had an experience where you think you were cutting costs, but at the end of the day, you ended up incurring costs. Okay, if you've ever had such an experience, please type yes in the chat room. Let's see. I'm seeing from Robert. He said yes. Of course, I know from me, it has happened to me severally. Okay, so I think me and Lucky, we are in the same position. It has happened to me severally. I had to use my common sense to say, okay, let me just buy this one. After all, like some of us will say, after all, A and B, they are the same. Like some people say, after all, the tablet is tablet, phone is phone. No, don't deceive yourself with that too. Don't deceive yourself with that. There is a difference between tablet and tablet. The difference is value, quality. And that is where project management becomes very, very important. Very, very important. Because project management will help you build the best quality at the best cost, at the best scope, at the best time for the best customers. Do you know that the same things that we are used to construct product A can also be used to produce product B, and their values are now different. People are buying product A more, and product B has the same features. They use virtually the same materials to produce them, but there is a slight difference between A and B. And that is where the project management skill become very critical in organizations. Become very critical in organizations. So if you've never bothered about how project management will help you, these little stories we are sharing will tell you how project management will be of immense importance to you. It will reduce your cost of trial and error. Well applied project management practices in your workplace will help you reduce the risk of trial and error. It will help you improve quality so that customers will always want to come to you. Okay, so that customers naturally want to come to you. Then it will reduce the risk of market failure. It will reduce the risk of product market failure. Okay, it will reduce the risk of, there are so many. Let me ask before I say, how many of us have had an experience, maybe in your company, you people spent a whole lot of time working on a particular product only to launch it in the market and customers are not appreciating it? The more you produce, the more waste you return. Who has ever had such an experience here? If you've ever had such an experience, type 11 in the chat room. You spent a whole lot, especially for all of our startup entrepreneurs, most of us did it. You spend time, instead of applying the right things, the right principles, you spend time on the product, not on the quality. You spend time on the quality, on the product, not on the quality, and not on client's requirement, not on customer requirement. Okay, and at the end of the day, we ended up having very good of those products in our house, and some of us ended up using it as a souvenir to people that will come to our house. So it's only Robert that me and Robert that have ever had this kind of experience. Wow, everyone here must have been very experienced then. Okay, all right. So it's important we understand the place of project management in the work environment and to our careers. All right. Okay, so quickly, I will define what project management is, and then we'll go through this in a moment, and we'll be out of here. So we're going to be looking at defining in simple terms what project is, project lifecycle, project management in general. Then we'll look at providing practical approach to what many may consider a complex process, that's the management of projects, and then simplify the management process required to manage projects successfully from start to finish. So the first, let's look at what project management is. Let's understand what project is, what project management is. Then we'll look at the project management context, and then we'll look at the project management processes. So in the first one, I'm going to explain this. Then I will run through the slides. A project is a unique temporary endeavor undertaken to produce a unique set of deliverables under clearly specified time, scope, and budget. I would need you to write that down, please. A project is an endeavor or activity or adventure carried out to produce a unique set of deliverables or unique set of outputs or unique set of products under clearly specified time, scope, and budget. All right, that's a project. So project is bounded by what we call a triple constraint. So if you have your big and paper, please draw a triangle for me, an equilateral triangle, and I will need you to write this inside the triangle or by the triangle. So triangle has three sides. So on one of the sides, you write scope, and the other side you write time, and the other side you write budget. Then inside you write quality. By the side you write, one of the side you write scope, the other side you write time or schedule, then the other side you write budget or resources. Then at the middle you write quality. I'm going to explain that. Okay. If you've written that, please type 11 in the chat room. If you've written that, please type 11 in the chat room. Please, if you've written that, let's do that very fast. Okay. Now, if you've written that, I want you to look at that table you're having, and I want to tell you that that is all to project management. That triangle you're seeing there is the A to Z of project management. We cannot do above that, and we cannot do below that in project management. That's the replica, the map of project management. All right. Okay. So someone asked the definition of project management. I said is a temporary endeavor or adventure or activity carried out. It's a temporary endeavor carried out to produce unique set of results or deliverables or outputs. Endeavor, temporary endeavor carried out to produce unique set of outputs or deliverables under clearly specified time, scope, and budget. Under clearly specified time, scope, and budget. Now that you have project management by your hand, now let's look at each of those components surrounding the practice of project management. So the first thing that I'm going to pinpoint is the middle one, because every other thing is surrounding the quality. I will go back to the statement that was made before, that every project has a scope and every scope has a value, all right? And that is to also second that every project is under a restricted or under a constraint of time and under a constraint of budget. So we have scope, time, and budget, all right? And that makes a whole lot of difference to quality. So anytime you see difference in quality between product A and B that look alike, there would have been some differentiation between how the company that produced A managed these three scopes versus how the company that produced B managed the three components. So what makes the difference in all of the quality that we see in product is how we manage time, how we manage resources, and how we manage the scope. In the scope will now look at the technical dimensions, all the activities, all the tasks, all the strategies, all the processes, all the methodologies, all the systems that we are required to create the quality desirable in the product. I hope you're following me. I trust everyone is following me, because even if it's only this triangle I explain, I trust you would have a foundational knowledge on project management, and you can also learn how to apply it to your workplace, right? Okay, so the scope gives you all of the tasks, all of the strategies, all of the scope requirements as regards to systems, procedures, policies, methodologies that you're going to use as regards to the predetermined quality. Now I want you to note something. Quality is predetermined. Quality is predetermined. You don't see quality after you've done it. You see quality before you start it. Quality is predetermined. Did you get what I said? If you get what I said, please type 1 in the chat room so that you get to know what I'm saying. If you understand now that quality is predetermined, not post-determined, please write 1 in the chat room, because this is very, very important. I'm giving you, or I'm telling you, project management from the practical perspective, not on the theoretical perspective. So let's get it very clear. Quality is predetermined. What we do after product development is evaluation. And the essence of evaluation is to find out if the quality that was first defined before the project started had been achieved. So we don't see quality after the project is done. We see quality before the project is done. And it is that quality that we've seen that we now negotiate with clients, that we now negotiate with sponsors, that we negotiate with stakeholders on how to come up with that quality. Okay, that's very, very important. All right, quality is what? Predetermined. Quality is predetermined before a product is developed. That's very, very important. Very, 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 very important. If quality then is predetermined, it therefore means that all we are doing is to get that particular quality out in a certain predetermined product. And how do we do this? We need to do this now by having an array of activities, an array of systems, an array of procedures, an array of policies, an array of methodologies that will work in sync to give that quality. And all of those activities, systems, procedures that we are going to be working with as the formation that make up the scope of that project, they are going to be bounded, or they are going to be determined by resources. Now, these resources are the things that will determine the budget of the project. So remember, resources are in two dimensions here. We have the tangible resources and the intangible resources. Okay, so both the tangible and the intangible resources are going to all make an equivalence in budgetary terms, physical, financial terms. Okay, everything in a budget has a financial implication. Everything in a budget has a financial implication. Everything in a budget has a financial implication, right? So that is going to the financial implication of all that has been said in the scope will be exemplified in the budget. Now, no matter how good money we have, the project must come out at a predetermined time. And that makes time an invaluable resource, an invaluable raw material in project management. And also it brings us to understand something, because in project management, we have a course is on project schedule management, okay? It used to be project time management, but in project management book of knowledge, 6th edition, it was renamed to project schedule management, and I agree with them, all right? Okay. Now, in those things we wrote as scope, remember the scope contains series of activities or tasks that need to be done. Those series of activities or tasks that need to be done must be placed under certain duration, certain activity duration estimates. There must be estimated time to every activity. There must be estimated time to how every system will work. There must be estimated time to how all the processes will work. There must be estimated time to how the product will be manufactured or will be produced or will be delivered. If it's a service, there must be an estimated time on service initiation, service delivery. There must be time, efficiency, and effectiveness. There must be time, efficiency, and effectiveness. Permit me to share this case study again. I read this case study some times ago, and it was wonderful. It was very wonderful. The difference between the two products was just a difference in time. And I'm going to tell you. I read of Ford Motors, Ford, and Mazda. Ford was going to produce a car. So they spent so many years. In fact, they said they spent how many $billion they spent to produce the car, to commercialize the production of the car. $50 billion or so to produce the car. Now, while they were still producing the car and trying to make sure that the car was perfect before they release it, Mercedes went and produced exactly the same car now at a cheaper rate and launched the product before Ford could launch their own. When Ford decided to launch their own, they couldn't get the market because there had been an earlier entry of a satisfiable quality of the same product to customers. So it was difficult for Ford to penetrate the market. Now, it wasn't as though Mercedes was better than the Ford car. And I know some of us could go ahead and argue that Mercedes was better. I don't know. As of the time they were doing the project, I don't know which one was better. But Ford was working to its fullest capacity to make sure that that was the best car in town. But because of the delay in time, the whole project objective was rubbished. The whole project objective was what? Was rubbished. So in time management, we are not just looking at time it will take to get the product to the market. We must understand a period that we call the wait market period. There is a market period, there is a wait market period. Wait, W-E-T. There is a wait market period. At that period, customers are desirous of a particular need that must be solved. Anything that solves that problem becomes a major, in fact, it becomes their heartthrob. Any other thing coming becomes secondary. Did you get what I just said now? So while you are busy working on the time to get the product out. You should also understand the times and seasons as to customer appreciation to whatever thing you're bringing. If not, you will use all your money for marketing and all products will remain in the garage or remain in the warehouse, or your service will remain with you. So this is important. Understanding this triangle can make a whole lot of difference in your workplace. No matter what you do, whether you're into service provision or you are into product development, it doesn't matter. Whether you're manufacturing or you're manufactured, it doesn't matter. Okay? This triangle can make a whole lot. So before you start your next business development in your workplace, before you start your next recruitment, take your time, draw the triangle. Ask yourself, what quality of people do I want to see? You write it down. Then from the scope, start asking yourself, what kind of qualification should they have? Where should they be living? What age should they be? What kind of system do we need for this interview? How do we get them in? How much should we pay them? What would be our best offer? You get these things out. Then you ask yourself, what budget do we have? Can it handle the scope? If your budget can handle the scope, the next thing is, how do we then make sure that we get this advert to the right people at the right time and get them in for the right purpose at the right time? These are very, very crucial things we need to consider in managing our businesses. Do you know, if you've never been using project management in your consulting experiences before, do you know that this simple triangle can make a very whole lot of difference in your consulting exercise? You don't need to show your client what you're doing, right? But you can use this triangle to define in clear terms what your best value will be, that customers will be, clients will be running to you. As I'm talking this thing now, you think I'm joking. You think maybe I'm trying to over exaggerate. Just go and try it. When you try it, by next class, come and give your testimony. Just go and try it. That's what I would tell trainees. Just go out. Okay, somebody say master the triangle. Yes, go and master the triangle and then begin to practice it. Begin to apply it. Let's see. Just imagine or just make a comparison between what your experience had been before and what your experience will be after you use the project triangle. When you finish, come and share your testimony. We'll be waiting for you here. Okay. And in your next business development, don't just allow people to be asking questions, say anything they want to say. Use the project triangle. Let it be well-detailed discussion. Let the HR know that, okay, HR, you're in charge of this for this project. Finance, you're in charge of this for this project. Communication manager, you're in charge of this. Operation, you're in charge of this. Okay, so you people go and tinker on the scope that you think from your own side, it can bring best value to the quality we are looking at. Wow, you set everybody on fire. That's when you know that this brain is more than artificial intelligence. You know that this brain has done more work before artificial intelligence came out. All right. So it's important we understand what that triangle. Is there anybody here that does not understand the triangle? And somebody's asking, where is the triangle? The triangle is with you now, it's not with me. Please, who has the triangle? Please give Trustly no. It's like the triangle had left her house. Please, who has the triangle? Please send to Trustly. The triangle didn't come towards our area. Okay, so that's about what a project is. A unique endeavor or temporary endeavor undertaken to produce unique set of deliverables under clearly specified time, scope, and budget. All right, and that is amplified in the triangle. All right, is there anyone that does not understand this definition and the triangle I gave? I sent the triangle through Zoom. Okay, is there anybody here you did not understand it? Let me know. I will explain it. If you did not understand it, let me know. I will explain it. Okay, if you understood the triangle, please can you type 1 in the chat room? You understood the triangle and you'll be willing to practice it. Can you type 1 in the chat room? You understood it and you're going to use it. Type 1 in the chat room. Someone is typing 00. So what is 00? Okay. Thank you so much for taking the time to understand it. As you've understood it from today, from this moment, anytime you say you're going to start something in your workplace, please get the triangle and then try to use the triangle as a simple guide, to helping you out. Okay. All right. Someone said not clear. Okay, please, can you tell me the area that is not clear? And someone said, please throw more light on the scope. Okay, I think light, Anthony Bokie, Babo. All right. He said I should throw more light. Scope defines the length and breadth of what has to be done in a project. So in essence, scope actually begins with defining the quality. Then after you might have defined the quality, the scope goes ahead to design the activities that are needed to achieve the quality. Then after you might have defined the activities, scope goes a long way to ask you, what are the processes needed to achieve the activities? What are the best strategies in carrying out the activities? Okay, so scope in essence tells you all the how. Scope tells you all the how, all the technicalities involved in achieving a project deliverable, okay, or project product. Scope tells you that, okay. Yes, my slide is statical. It will soon move. Maybe someone can share the triangle on the WhatsApp room. Oh my God. Oh God, no. Please, the triangle is a picture that you draw by yourself. I said draw a triangle. On one side of the triangle, write scope. On another side, write time. On another side, write budget or resources. Then at the middle, write quality. That's what I said. Okay. So if you draw it now, you have the picture in your hand. Draw a triangle, an equilateral triangle. One side is scope. One side is time, and the other side is resources or budget. Okay. Troslin, do you have the triangle now? And at the middle of the triangle, please write quality. Okay, so now that you are awake, do you have the triangle? Okay, then another thing I will try to explain as I roll off the slide is what is project management? What is project management? What is project management? I've defined what is project. I've given out a simple approach that we can apply project management to our project. Okay, so now let's look at the definition of project, understanding it in, yes, the triangle is called project constraints, project triple constraints, project triple constraints, project triple constraints. Okay. Now, let's look at what project management is, because I will need you to understand it, so that when you go to work, you will use it, because that's the whole essence of learning. Professional training is to help you do better with your work, not for you to know. That's why professional training is different from academic work. Academic work empowers you to know. Professional empowers you to do. So after this, we are getting empowered to go and apply. And someone will just go and apply. Promotion will just come. Someone will just apply. And you just get a gift for applying. If you want a free lunch from your MD or from your director this week, just go and try and apply this thing. You just receive free lunch. I'm telling you the truth. You receive free lunch. This is I'm saying that is funny, right? I'll tell you my experience. When I was working with, I worked with one oil and gas trainer certification institute some years ago. And I happened to be, well, according to them, I was the most knowledgeable project manager. They gave me an award then as the most knowledgeable project manager. And then one day, listen, my MD called me to his office and gave me 10,000. I should go and eat food. After one work was completed, he said, you see this 10,000? I think I was given an award. Yes, I was given an award. Then he called me into his office and told me so many beautiful things about all he's enjoying. Then he gave me 10,000 and said I should go and eat food. That same year, I was the only one they gave a bag of rice. They gave me a bag of rice with another 10,000. Okay. Hey. So triple constraint project managers, don't joke with it. It can make a whole lot of difference. It can make, and I'm not joking, you can go to your office now and just this simple thing, you try to let your MD understand how it works. See someone say she was given 10K too. Wow. She was given 10K too by practicing what she was taught in this class. Please, somebody should go and do it. Or when they give you 10, you give me, I'm not too greedy. If they give you 10, just send me 1.5 recharge card. That's all. So, Director Trustley, you owe me 1.5 recharge card. Eh? Okay, you shared all without taking anything. Thank you. Well done. Okay, so let's go and apply these things. All right. We have so many people giving testimonies. This is our joy. That you did it today. They gave you 10K. Tomorrow, you'll be shocked how your promotion will come. So let's learn to do. Okay, let's learn to do, not learn to know. We've known enough. Let's try and start doing. And that's very, very important. Okay, so now let's look at what project management is. Now, project management, if your beak is still with you, please write this down. If your beak is still with you, write this down. Project management is the application. Please write it down. Write it down very fast. Is the application of skills, tools and techniques, and management processes. Are you there? Is the application of skills, tools and techniques, and management processes to the successful completion of a project. Application of skills, tools and techniques, and management processes to the successful completion of a project. If you want to change your grammar, it can be to the successful execution of a project. If you want to change the grammar, it can be to the successful implementation of a project. If you want to change your grammar, it can be to the successful delivery of a project. So whichever one that best suits your grammatical appraisal or grammatical appreciation, please choose. The application of skills, tools and techniques, and management processes to the successful completion of a project. That definition is very simple, but in practice is very big. It's a very simple definition. You can write it any day, anytime to pass exam. But in practice, it's not as simple as is defined. Okay. Okay, so somebody said you can also choose another grammar. Application of skills, tools and techniques and management process to satisfy the project requirement. That's also very interesting. So you can write any of these things in any exam and you pass. You even get 100. But it's not about getting 100 in the knowledge area. It's about getting to the drilling down to the technical application. So now I need you to do something for me. Please do that for me. I need you to draw another triangle. I need you to draw another triangle. I need to draw another triangle. Please draw it very fast. Equilateral triangle. Let all the sides be equal. Even if all sides are not equal, please note somewhere that the triangle is equilateral. That's to say that none of the item is less important or more important than the other. All right. All of them are equally important. All right. Now, on one side of the triangle, please, can you help me write skills? Skills, skills, skills. Then on one other side of the triangle, please, can you help me write tools and techniques? Tools and techniques. Tools and techniques. Then on the other side, can you please help me write management processes? So there are three sides to the triangle. So the first side is skills. The second side is tools and techniques. And the third side is management processes, management processes. All right. Oh, that's great. Then in the middle, you now write project management. In the middle or at the center of the triangle, you now write project management. If I say, let me take the time to explain all this, we will not live here today, because to talk about skills only is massive. To talk about tools and techniques only, they are massive. To talk about management processes, they are massive. But I'm going to take just some few minutes to create a background to each of them. You know, man would say that project contains scope. That scope, one of the basic requirements in that scope is what we call the skills, is what we call the management processes, is what we call the tools and techniques. Did you get that? Did you get that? So when we say scope in project, we're actually looking at what are the skills required by the individuals, what are the competencies required, what are the knowledge areas required, what degree of knowledge will be required. That's part of the skills. What are the technical skills required? What are the theoretical skills required? What are the empirical skills required? What are the skills required? Find out. Now, should I shock you? Should I shock you? I'm going to shock you with how my friend shocked me in school those days. The guy shocked me. Now, I'm only going to tell you about this shock because I'm still shocked. And I'm going to tell you this shock because this shock would have been prevented by skill, if skills were present. Now, I had a wonderful friend, what did you say? He was my best friend and he's still my best friend to date. So he often visits my house. I was living off campus. He was living in hostel. So he comes to my house and he eats, does relax and do everything. Very, very good. So one day, okay, he had been telling me to come to his hostel, feeling like, oh, because I'm living in hostel, you don't want to come to hostel, Abi. Okay, so one day, and I said, okay, I'm coming to hostel. He said he's cooking. He's cooking. Wow. I felt so joyous. Like, at least when I get to my friend's room, I will be able to eat before I return to my house. Now, on getting to the hostel, I sat down. He said I should just give him little time. The food will soon get done. Do I have a choice? I sat down. And after hours of cooking, the food was done. What? And he cooked beans with stockfish, with red plantain or ripe plantain rather. Wow, that should have been the best food ever. What? When he was telling me everything about the cooking, my appetite was coming up. It was coming alive. And when I saw the food, he dished the food. The beans was separate. The plantain was as it were. The stockfish was just as it is. You can literally hear the sound of the beans as he was dishing it to the plate. Yeah? You can literally hear the sound of the beans as he was dishing it to the plate. And when he brought it, I looked at the food, and all of a sudden, I told him, bros, I forgot to tell you that today I was fasting. Okay. He said, how will I be cooking since morning? And you tell me you're fasting. I said, Kai, I am so sorry. I even forgot. I would have told you that I was fasting. Now, I want you to look at something there, because this is funny, but I want you to look at something because this is how most people carry out projects. They have all the resources, but there is skill lacking. Did you get where I'm going to? They have all the resources. There are companies like that. They have all the resources to make a project meaningful, but they lack the required skills. So the scope of that project will not be complete. because there is an area of the scope that is lacking, and that is skill. Without skill, no matter how big your resources are, your product deliverable cannot be good. Your product deliverable cannot be good. So you must pay attention to skills. You must pay attention to what? To skills. When we get to management processes, we'll realize what kind of skills do we need to have. All right. So for the sake of time, let me stop it there. I guess you understood the story, and I guess you understood its correlation between skills and project management. All right. Okay. Now let's come down to tools and techniques, because this, my friend, also made some wonderful things with tools and techniques. As to cooking a porridge beans, of course, he had all the necessary tools. He had his burner. He had his what do you call the other one? He had his pot. He had his spoons and every other thing he needed to cook. He had his beans, plantain, all of the ingredients. He had all of them. So he had the tools, but the techniques made the difference. Oh, the techniques made a whole lot of difference. The techniques made a whole lot of difference. I want to ask a question here. If you know someone, or you've ever known someone, that no matter how big the ingredients he buys, no matter how wonderful the ingredients he buys to cook food, if the food comes out, you will always be like, I'm not interested. If you ever know someone like that, can you type 11 in the chat room? Don't type the person's name, but you ever know someone that he can buy ingredients for Africa, but no matter how he mixes the ingredients, the food will still not be delicious. So what is lacking there now is not tools. What is lacking is the appreciation of the application of the techniques. Okay, the application of the techniques. So this is also how so many projects are failing. They have all the tools, but the techniques they don't know. And that's why we pay attention to project methodologies, project systems, project methodology. You have to know them, or you just have to know them. Whether you want to know them or you don't want to know, just know them. Know them, understand them, and practice them. And there is something I understood. I understood this thing a long time ago. And if my understanding is different from your own, please let me know. I understood that you cannot be perfect using a technique in one day. It is perfection with a particular technique come with constant practice. If my knowledge is different, if my observation is different from yours, please, you can let me know. I got to learn that you, as a young man, as a young lady, you can't just in your primary, maybe primary one, all of a sudden you start cooking and it will be like everybody want to eat the soup. No, you start learning gradually. Perhaps the first soup or food you ever cooked, people didn't bother eating it. If anybody ate it, it was you. Okay. Some of us, the first time we ever cooked food, if anybody ever ate that food, it was you. Okay. I remember when we were growing up, my immediate elder sister, all of us were still young. So it's like she didn't know that they used egusi to cook egusi soup. So she was just looking at the whole thing. So one day, we all came back from school and we were hungry. So my mom was not yet back from school. And my sister went to the kitchen, gathered enough eggs and was frying the eggs and started putting vegetable. And they asked her, what are you doing? She said she was cooking egusi soup. Okay. Obviously, the egg with the water and all of that looked like egusi soup. But obviously, that wasn't an egusi soup. Okay, that wasn't an egusi. So understanding techniques is very, very important. Understanding techniques is very, very important. Understanding techniques is very, very important. So it's important we pay attention to that. It's important we pay attention to understanding project techniques. Please let me say this. So business techniques and project techniques, they are not the same. business techniques and project techniques, they are not the same. So don't mistake project techniques to business techniques. They are not the same. All right, they are not the same. All right, so let's get that loud and clear. All right, let's get that loud and clear. Right. Okay, then the last side of the triangle is management process. Is management process. Now in project management, we'll have 10 knowledge areas that we'll deal with. And each of these 10 knowledge areas is a concentration on an aspect of management. Okay, is an aspect of management. So inevitably, the primary skills that we need in driving core projects are all rounded on the management skills that we have. And what are these management skills? We have skills of integration management, skills of planning, skills of scope management, skills of schedule management, skills of resource management, be it human resources or otherwise, skills of communication management, quality management, risk management, and all of the management embedment. Okay, so we need to pay attention to improving our management skills or management knowledge in order to understand the best practice in management that will drive your project for best advantage. Did you get what I just said now? Did you get what I just said now? So it's important we understand project management from this perspective of improving our skills and understanding the necessary skills required for a certain project scope. Please note, we all must understand the necessary skills required for a certain project scope, which is required for a certain project quality. Did you get what I just said now? There must be project skills required for a certain project scope, scope required for a certain project quality. Did you get that? Okay. And there must be good understanding of the tools and techniques required to execute the content of the project scope so as to give the project quality. Did you get that too? There must be a good understanding of the project tools and techniques required to implement the contents of the project scope so as to give the project quality. Did you understand that? And there must also, someone said no audio. Please, if you can hear me loud and clear, please. Can I have 1-1 in the chat room? If you can hear me loud and clear, can I have 1-1 in the chat room? Someone said no audio. So please, Princess, can you reach out to the person? Let him or her be abreast. Let him or her be abreast. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I said there must also be certain project management processes that we must be well aware of towards managing the scope of a project as to give the desired result. Okay. Okay. Now I've explained project management not as theory, but as simply as I can. I feel is simple enough. But if you did not, if there is an area you did not understand to what I just shared now, please feel free to tell me. Now, if you understood the practical meaning of project management based on the little I've said, if you understood a little that you think is appreciable, please, can you help me type 2-2 in the chat room, 2-2 in the chat room, 2-2 in the chat room. If you understood project management a little appreciably, maybe you can say, okay, I understood project management a little. Just let me type 2-2 in the chat room. All right, thank you. Now, if there's an area of the definition that you don't understand, please do let me know so that I can explain it further to you. All right, I can explain it further to you. Okay, he said explanation on project management process. Okay, I said project management process is actually derived from different management aspects. You see, in project management will have human resource management practices inside it. We'll have safety management practices inside it. We'll have finance management practices inside it, risk management, quality management, communication management, and all of the aspects of management inside it. So in project management, as it were, we need to be well informed on the kind of management practices, management systems, management policies that we must follow per time, in ensuring that the defined scope to that project is achieved. Faith, please, what I said now, did it make sense? And Prince Festus, I just explained that again. We must be well aware, we must build our capacity in the areas of the necessary management areas that will help us achieve goals. You know, there's one thing about a project manager, and I'm going to say it with all boldness. You know, you can tell someone that his work is only HR. You ask him to do something, he or she can comfortably tell you, no, it is not within my job description. And you can tell a risk manager, please do this. He says, sorry, sir, it's not within my job description. You can tell any other professional something, he will tell you no. There is only one person you will always tell something, he will tell you yes, and that's a project manager. Project manager is 360-degree all-rounder. There is nothing you will tell him that will take him off balance. There is always a way out. Project manager is always looking for solution. And that's why in the project, any organization that their project management office is working, their office works more than operations office, because they are the ones that will determine what operations we do. Okay, so if you have an interest in project management, it's a whole world of enjoyable journey. And I must tell you the truth. Project management, no. Is something that you will be doing and your belly will be sweetening you. As a project manager, there is nothing like no answer. The most diplomatic people are project managers. You tell them something, instead of saying no, you say, can you give me some time? Any other manager can go outright and tell you no, but a project manager, can you give me some time? Okay, can we talk about this tomorrow? Why he's telling you, can we talk? His brain is already working on what solution can we provide before we meet next time. But other managers can tell you no, and no is no. There's no thinking to it, no further thinking, because they believe it is outside of the scope of their job description, and you will not in any way blame them. And that is why organizations are making it prerequisite. It has become the underlying requirement for employment today. So that if you are to be a HR and they ask you a question, you don't say it's not part of my job description. You just have to find a solution, because you are now working from the project management mind dimension. All right, that's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. All right, so we need to understand that. And I'm going to go to the next one, which is related endeavors of project management. I'm just going to give, since it's related endeavor, it's not really our major concern. So I'm just going to call them out, and then we proceed. All right, the related endeavors of project management, we have primarily two of them. Then we have two extra that I personally, I add those two, right? Not that you will see them in PM book, but I add them, all right? Okay, so primarily we have what we call program management and portfolio management. Program management and portfolio management. So as you continue to grow in your project management career, one day you'll become a program manager and you go for program management training and get certified as a program manager. Another day you will go for portfolio manager, right? And you get trained and get certified as portfolio manager. Now, what is program management all about? A program, please, you can write this down. You can write this down. You can write this down. Please, if your beak and paper is close by, please write this down. What's a program? A program is the collection of interdependent and interrelated projects. Program is the collection of interdependent and interrelated projects carried out to achieve strategic goals. Collection of interdependent and interrelated projects carried out to achieve a strategic goal. That's a program. So program is a combination of projects that are related. Program is a collection of projects that are interrelated. Please, if you got that definition, please, can you help me type 1 in the chat room? If you got that definition, can you help me type 1 in the chat room? You got the definition? Please help me type 1 in the chat room. You got the definition? All right. Okay. Please, if you got the definition, you can actually feel free and type it and help us post it in the chat room so that those who didn't get it could get it. So collection of interdependent and interrelated projects to achieve a strategic goal. Now, I want to ask a question. If you understood this definition in any small way, not in a big way, but you understood it small, can you give us an example of what a program could be like? If you understood the definition, I know we've just heard the definition. I'm just trying to know if you understood it small, not that you understood it too big, based on your small understanding. Can anyone give us an example of what a program could look like? You can put that in the chat room. You can put that in the chat room. Please, let's be reminded that you have to take your attendance before you leave this class. By 6, this class is stopping by 6:30. So from 6 o'clock or 6:15, the facilitator will share the link, and then you can fill it up. All right. Okay. Once you are there by your says Lagos Ibadan Expressway project. All right, great. Any other example? Any other example? Pipeline construction project. All right, great. Any other Olympic game? Awesome. Can someone give us an example with respect to his house, where he's staying now, with respect to where you are staying now? I don't mean where you're working, where you're staying now. Can you give us an example of a program? In fact, or anything that has happened around you today that look like a program, can you give us an example of such? Naming ceremony. Thank you. That's great. That's awesome. Can someone tell us an example of what has happened during these church activities? Okay. Parenting. Awesome. So you see, we got the COVID-19 and Zoom. Okay. All right. So I think from the examples I'm seeing here, it therefore means that we understand what a program is. Okay. Because a program has smaller projects, whether the project is small or big, it doesn't matter, but it has projects in them that they must be all carried out together to achieve one singular project that we now call a program. For instance, the person that said naming program or naming something, okay? If you are going for naming, there is going to be maybe prayers. There's going to be the naming of the baby. There's going to be food, entertainment, and the likes. You cannot do entertainment and say the naming is over. And you cannot just name the baby and say the naming. People will be looking at you and say, is it all? There must be snapping of pictures. All of them, all of these things can be done actually without coming to the naming. Without coming to the naming, you can go and put music in your house and play. Without coming to the naming, you can eat food in your house. You can entertain yourself. But for the purpose of the naming, all of these smaller things must be joined together to say that the naming was successful. If it's a wedding, all of those activities, you cannot go and do cake and say because you've done cake, your wedding is over. And because, or maybe because you now paid, you paid for hall. You say, my wedding is over, I've paid for hall. Oh yeah, now go and try it. Let's see how it will look like. Then you see induction via virtual. That's also good. So we understand the concept of programs, right? Okay, now let's go to the next one. The next one is portfolio. Portfolio, please. If your pick and paper is close by, please can you write it down? Can you write this down? The definition of a portfolio. A portfolio is collection of programs. Please write this down. Write this down. Sometimes people get to confuse portfolio and programs. Please write this down. Portfolio, I'm sure your paper is with you right now and your book is writing. Portfolio is the collection of programs and independent projects. Write that down. Collection of programs and independent projects. Collection of programs and independent projects. Collection of programs and independent projects. All right, carried out to achieve strategic goals. Carried out to achieve strategic goals. Carried out to achieve strategic goals. Collection of programs and independent projects carried out to achieve strategic goals. Now, if you have written that, please can you type 1 in the chat room? Okay, if you've written that, carried, please. Trusting, can you help us correct that? It is carried, not varied. Carried out to achieve strategic goals. Carried, not varied. Thank you so much for being fast. Carried. Okay, thank you. Carried out, yes. Okay. Now, with the little definition that we just gave now, someone wrote something on top. Thank you so much for correcting that, Trustly. Someone wrote something on top, and I just saw it. He said, example of a program is a minister of work that want to build roads across the geopolitical zones. That's also a very beautiful example of a program, because at the end of the day, it's all going to be boiled down for roads, just road. The project is road construction. All right. Okay. Now, can someone with a little understanding of whatsoever we could feel like is portfolio, can you give us example of portfolio? Someone said presidency. Can you break it down? Presidency is only an office. Can you give us example of a portfolio? Road construction and housing construction. Okay. Please, Wasiu, I would like to draw your attention that it is the goal that will determine whether a project is, whether an activity is a portfolio, a program, a project. Because now that you said road construction and housing construction, what if we are building an estate that will require road construction and housing construction? Automatically, it's no longer a portfolio, but a program. Okay. Wasiu, I guess you understood where I'm coming from. So can someone give us example of portfolio? Example of portfolio. Governance of a company. Okay, that's great. Governance of a company, that's awesome. Construction of road and drainage together. It depends on the strategic objective. If this is going to be done as part of development of an estate, is a program, is not a portfolio. To make all roads in Nigeria motorable. Well, it's still a program, sir. Road construction in Lagos and housing construction in Osun State. Wow. Washiu, thank you so much. That's a very great one. Road construction in Lagos, that's a program on itself. And housing construction in Osun State, that's a different program under the Ministry of Work and Housing. That's a great example. Thank you. Those are two different programs, but handled for a strategic purpose, right? Okay, railway construction and the steel company. Sylvester Oko. There must be a strategic linkage. There must be a strategic linkage that will make it a portfolio. There must be a strategic linkage that must make it a portfolio. Okay, I know there are different countries here, but let me ask those of us in Nigeria. Dangote group of companies and refinery construction is still a program, sir. Christopher Mbono, Refinery construction is a program. It's not a portfolio. Let's take a Dangote group of companies versus MTN Nigeria. Dangote group of companies versus MTN Nigeria. Which of them will you refer to as a portfolio organization and why? And which one will you refer to as a program organization and why? Please, let me have your answer. Dangote group of companies versus MTN Nigeria. Both of them are multinational companies. But which one will you refer to as a portfolio company and why? And which one will you refer to as program company and why? I'm waiting. Your answers should come. Okay, so someone says Dangote portfolio. All right. Dangote group is portfolio company because they have different products and services under the group. Okay. Then what of MTN? Dangote is portfolio because it has many programs. All right. Capital City Development is a portfolio. I don't know which one is Capital City Development, sir. Say MTN. MTN is MTN portfolio or is MTN portfolio or program? Let's know. Dangote is portfolio, MTN program. Why Dangote portfolio? Okay. Dangote is portfolio company because it has many projects. Okay, so with the little we've been able to extract from the chat room, it's not as though I'm agreeing with you, but I have to agree with you that Dangote group of companies is a portfolio company. And I'm going to tell you why. In Dangote, we have refinery functioning independent of the food company. The food company is functioning independent of the cement company. The cement company is functioning independent of the sugar refinery company. So you see, all of them can actually be standalone on themselves. All of them can be standalone on the, with the refinery can work 100% free without depending on the sugar refinery. Sugar refinery can work 100% free without depending on food. Food can work independently without depending on cement. So they can actually be independent companies on themselves. But coming together under one company, they are now coming together as a portfolio. At the end of the day, it is still owned by one individual. Okay? And I'm going to say something before I go. Now, MTN, on the other hand, I think the best product MTN is offering is only telecommunication. Is there any other thing MTN is offering that I don't know? If there's any other thing they are offering that I don't know that is not telecom based, please maybe you can let me know. You can let us know so that we will not make a very wrong example. But from the little I know, MTN is a program-based organization. Glo is a program-based organization. Airtel is a program-based organization. Mobile money transactions. They don't provide financial services, so they only partner with financial services to do that. So it's still your bank that is doing your financial transaction with you. MTN is only providing a telecom advantage to do that. All right. Okay. If there is anything MTN is like, if you remove MTN now, if you remove data, remove data, remove credits, MTN can still work. Let me know that product. MTN offers small inverter system. You still need recharge card to recharge the light now. You still need recharge card. So what they are still doing is still around their credits, their data. If there is anything they are offering that does not depend on data, does not depend on credit, airtime, let us know, please. Because the inverter they give you, still recharge it with your credit. MTN Foundation. Okay, MTN Foundation, thank you. So now Anthony, Boki, and Babu have been able to convince us that MTN is a portfolio organization, not only a telecom organization. All right, thank you so much. But when we look at their major products and services, we can actually say that they are The MTN Foundation is non-charity organization, is a non-profit organization. So we might not necessarily regard it as part of the services they are delivering. And MTN Scholarship is still part of the corporate social responsibility, MTN Project Firm and all of that. Those things are not the things we are considering, okay? If you remove MTN, they cannot be a standalone. That's where we are going. If MTN stops selling of credit, selling of data, all of those things will stop. But if Dangote stops selling sugar today, oil can still be going. If he stops selling oil, cement can still be going. That's what each of them can be a standalone. Everything we've mentioned about MTN are dependent on the core services or core products of MTN. Okay, so that's what we're trying to get for us to say that MTN is a portfolio. Then those things doesn't have to be centered around the core. So they can work, if they can work independent of the telecom space, why not? We can call it then a portfolio. All right. Okay, so is there anyone here that does not understand these two things, program and portfolio? You don't understand it? Or if you understand it, please, can you have me type 1 in the chat room? If you don't understand it, please let me know so that we can create more understanding. If you understood it, please let me type 1. If you don't understand it, please let me know. Okay, thank you so much for understanding it, Alice. You're helping me. Whew, this is good and great. The attendance link will be up shortly because we are gradually coming to 6 o'clock. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's begin to round up now. I said there are two major sites of the what they call it, two major endeavors, but I normally add two, and the two that I add is on strategic management and operations management. I normally add that to strategic management and operations management. And I'm going to tell you why I consider them as being related to project management. Remember, projects determine what goes out as products. And you know what determines how product will remain is operations, is it not? So operations determine whether a product will remain in the market or not. But before we now talk about whether product will come out or not, it is the project that will determine whether a product will come out, but it's the operations management that will determine how sustainable the project product will be. All right. So that is very, very important. That is very, very important. So what then is operations management? Operations is simply, in simple terms, operation is the day-to-day management of a business to keep it sustainable. That's operations, the day-to-day management of a business. So all of those things that we do in business to keep the product that was first developed, to keep it working and keep it in the market, that's what we call operations. So operations are repetitive, operations are continuous, operations are done daily, but project activities are not so. Project activities, as soon as they are initiated, planned, executed, controlled, and closed, you don't go repeating them every day. As soon as a project is closed, another one is initiated. But operations, we keep doing the same thing every day as far as operations is concerned. In the bank, we do the same thing every day. But in coming to install an ATM, we don't do it every day. We do it once. Then if there is any other thing we need to do, we do the operation of maintenance. We do the operation of loading the money. We do the operation of making sure that the ATM is working. All right. If we are coming to recruit in a workplace, we do recruitment of a person once. Any other thing we do to that person is the maintenance of the person, is the operation to keep the person performing. Okay. If we are going to launch a product to the market, we can only launch a product to the market once. The other thing we do after launching the product is servicing the ready market that are buying the product. So operations have similitude as a project management, but the only difference there is that projects always have a start and a close, but operations only have start, they don't have close. Every business wants to remain in operation. No business wants to close. No business, even I've told us here before that Iipm, even when rapture takes place, for some of us that know that one day rapture will happen, when rapture takes place, we'll continue it in heaven. No, it will not end here. We are working on having a branch there when we get there. Okay. So operations keep us continuously working. But you can't go and say you're registering Iipm twice. It can't happen. The project that brought Iipm to existence, you can't do it twice. If you do it again, it's another institute you have, not Iipm. I guess you get what I'm saying now. So the activity of ensuring that the quality of the product is maintained, keeping customers satisfied with product of the project is called operation. Okay, it's called operation, and that is very, very important. Then the last one I will talk about is strategic management. Strategic management. Oh my God. How I love the concept of strategic management. I love, if there is anything that made me appreciate project management so well, was for the fact that I can actually see the inclusion of strategic management in project management. In fact, the beauty of project management depends on how strategic you are as a project manager. You know, we now talk about quality management. It's all dependent on how strategic you are. You know, anytime you hear the word differentiation, 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 differentiation is a primary function of the quality of strategy that an organization has. Did you get that statement? Differentiation is a product of the quality of strategy an organization has. I always tell people, and it's a very simple statement, the better your quality, the better your strategy, the better your quality. And I always say to consultants, those with better quality better strategy always win. Those with the best quality will always win, no matter what. Those with the, except you want to say maybe corruption, all things being equal, let me come to this point. All things being equal, those with the best strategy will always win. But if the terms and conditions are changed, maybe other things can happen. But if there is anything that makes organizations stand out, it is rooted on the quality of strategy of human resourcing, the quality of strategy of human resourcing, the quality of strategy in business management, the quality of strategy in product development, the quality of strategy in customer service, the quality of strategy in every aspect. So if you are to talk about excellence, you must first of all talk about strategy, because it is the implementation of the strategy that will determine how excellent you or your organization will be. Okay, did you get where I'm going to? So strategic management is superb. In fact, strategic management gets to become everything in us, from the crown of our head to the sole of our feet. If you're ever strategic, everything will begin to fall in place. Like it will be as though it's supernatural, but no, it's just the way it is. So what is strategic management? Strategic management is all about decision making. Is the integrated approach to making the right decisions. The integrated, in my own simple way, integrated approach to decision making to have the best outcomes. Integrated approach to decision making to give the best outcome. That's strategic management. And just follow me gradually. I just gave you a simple definition that strategic management is the integrated approach, coherent approach to decision making that gives the best result by default, what this means is to tell you that strategic management has to deal with tools like brainstorming, has to deal with tools like vision analysis, vision determination, and vision analysis, has to deal with tools like problem solving, has to deal with tools like decision making. So you see how important that is. For any time you hear the word strategic, it's always a thing of we've been able to see the future and we know how to get to the future. That's what it means. Anytime someone tells you he is strategic or she is strategic or this organization is telling you that this organization is far ahead, not because of resources, but because of the innovations they are driving, because of the creativities they are driving, because of the ingenuity they are bringing. They are taking a journey to the future and they are bringing it to the present. Sometimes you hear things like, US is still far compared to African countries. What it simply means is that they have actually taken a journey far ahead before. If we believe in the principle of creation, America was not created a different day from the day Africa was created. What makes difference is how strategic the two continents are. Why some continents are focusing on me, myself, and I. Some other continents are focusing on how do we build ourselves. Why some continents are focusing on how will our government help us. Other continents are focusing on how will we help our government. So you see, strategy is key. Why some organizations are focusing on how do we beat our competitors. Others are focusing on how do we collaborate with the so-called competitors. Can you see strategy? Why others are thinking of how do I get money to start business? Others are thinking of how can I partner with someone who is already in business? You see, strategy makes a whole lot of difference. Strategy makes a whole lot of difference. The quality of your strategy determines the quality of your output. The quality of excellence that you give determines, in fact, it determines your market positioning. Quality determines your positioning, be it as individual or as what they call it, or as a company or corporate. All right. At this juncture, men and brethren, I think I would like to say a very big thank you. Sorry, I did not roll through the slides, but I'm sure when you get through the materials, you'll be able to get through the slides. But we've been able to explain most of the most important things that need to be shared. And then for theory purposes, please, when you get your materials, please feel free to read through all of it. And at this point, I would like to know if there is any question. In the next 5 minutes, the attendance link will be shared. And please make sure you take your attendance. All right? Okay. So while the questions are going on, I'll be scrolling through the slide so that those that wish to read can read. But I will advise you to get the slide and then go through it. This is about almost 150 slides, and time may not permit us to go all of it. But when you get your slide, please go through it. If should you have any question, use the chat room, the WhatsApp room, and we'll make the debates over there. All right. Okay, so if there are questions now, I'll be handing over to Princess. If there are questions, please let's have them right now. But please make sure that you take your attendance before you go and have your rest. All right, make sure you have your attendance before you go and have your rest. Thank you. Princess, please, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Banito. So this is how we come to the end of the class today. In case you like to remember what the class was all about, it is the introduction to project management. And thank you again, Dr. Banito. I believe we all had a great time learning today.